They say beauty is a blessing. But for me, it brought pain I never expected. My name is Linda, and I used to believe the world was fair. I thought hard work, kindness, and loyalty would take me far in life. But I was wrong. It all started when I got a job at a big company in Lagos. I was so happy. My parents were proud, and my friends celebrated me. It was my dream job. The office was nice, the pay was good, and everything seemed perfect until I met Mr. Henry. He was the managing director. A tall man with a charming smile, always dressed in fine suits. Everyone respected him, even feared him. But behind his handsome face was a dangerous man. A man who thought power gave him the right to do anything he wanted. At first, he was nice to me. Too nice. He would always call me into his office to talk. He complimented my looks every day. "You are very beautiful, Linda," he would say with a strange smile. "You light up this office." I smiled politely and thanked him, not thinking much of it. I thought he was just being friendly. But soon, things changed. He began calling me into his office for no reason. He asked personal questions like, "Are you single? Or do you have a boyfriend?" I felt uncomfortable, but I didn't want to lose my job. So, I answered politely and tried to keep it professional. Then, one day, he touched my hand. It was a Friday evening. Everyone had gone home except me and him. I was finishing up a report when he walked in. "Still working, Linda?" he asked. "Yes, sir," I replied, not looking up. He came closer and placed his hand on mine. "You work too hard," he said, his voice soft. "You deserve something special." I pulled my hand away and stood up quickly. "Sir, I think I should be going home now," I said, grabbing my bag. He looked at me with eyes full of something I didn't understand. "Of course. Rest well, my dear." That night, I couldn't sleep. My heart beat fast. I didn't know what to do. I needed the job badly, but I didn't want to be treated like that. The next week, things got worse. He started giving me too much work. Impossible tasks. Reports to finish overnight, meetings to attend that weren't even necessary. He would shout at me in front of others, call me useless, tell me I wasn't performing well. But deep down, I knew it was because I didn't let him touch me. Then, one Monday morning, he called me into his office again. "I've been watching you," he said, closing the door behind me. "You're smart, beautiful, and hardworking. I want to help you rise in this company." I sat quietly, knowing something bad was coming. "But you must be loyal to me." "You know what I mean," he said, walking around the desk slowly. I looked at him, my heart pounding. "Sir, I don't understand." He laughed. "Don't pretend. You know what I want. I can make you a manager in 1 week if you give me what I want." Tears welled up in my eyes. "Sir, please. I respect you. Don't do this." He smiled again. "Think about it." That day, I made a decision. I was not going to be a victim. I went home early that day, pretending to be sick. But it was not my body that was sick. It was my heart. I cried for hours. Why was this happening to me? I worked hard, respected everyone, and stayed away from trouble. But Mr. Henry saw me as an object, not a person. I knew no one would believe me. He was powerful. Everyone in the office feared him. Some even admired him. If I spoke up, I would lose my job, and maybe even my reputation. So, I kept quiet, but only for a while. A week later, he called me again. This time, his tone was different. "You think you're smart, don't you?" he said, his face hard. "You think you can reject me and keep this job?" "I didn't reject you, sir," I said carefully. "I just want to focus on my work." He laughed. "Your work is nothing. You are nothing here if I say so." He walked closer and leaned in. "But if you change your mind, I'm still waiting." I left his office shaking. That night, I couldn't eat. My spirit was broken. I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered, "Linda, you must do something. You cannot let this man destroy you." So I began to plan. I borrowed a small voice recorder from my friend, who used it for interviews. I told her I needed it for a school project. I didn't tell her the truth. I was too ashamed. The next time he called me to his office, I hid the recorder inside my purse. I turned it on before walking in. He started again with his sweet lies. Linda, I can buy you a car. I can pay your rent. Just be close to me. I stayed quiet and let him talk. You know, many girls would be begging for this chance, he said. You're lucky I like you. When he tried to touch my face, I moved away. I'll think about it, sir, I said softly. He smiled. Good. I knew you were smart. I walked out of his office, my hands sweating, heart racing, but I had the recording. That night, I listened to it over and over. His voice, his words. Everything was there. I felt angry. I felt powerful. But I knew that one recording wasn't enough. Over the next 2 weeks, I recorded everything. Every meeting. Every word. Even when he finally forced himself on me one evening after calling me to his house under the lie of a business dinner. Yes, I went to his house. I was scared, but I wanted to finish what I started. He poured wine, told me how beautiful I looked, and turned on slow music. Relax, my dear, he said, sitting close. No one needs to know. Just enjoy this moment. I smiled weakly, pretending to be okay. But my purse was on the table, and inside, the recorder was on. Catching every word. Every sound. That night, he had his way. He took what he wanted and thought I would keep quiet. I cried all the way home. I scrubbed my skin in the shower like I could wash away the pain. I wanted to scream, to break something. But I didn't. I was stronger than he knew. I gathered all my recordings, even a video I secretly took with my phone during one of his threats at the office. I edited everything into one clean file. Then, I created an anonymous email. No name. No trace. I uploaded the file online on a whistleblower website that people use to expose bad leaders. I didn't stop there. I sent the link to our company's board of directors, to a few news outlets, and also to some popular social media accounts. Then I waited. The storm hit the next morning. At first, it was quiet. But by noon, the office was shaking. People were whispering. Phones were ringing. Mr. Henry looked like a ghost. He ran into his office and didn't come out for hours. By evening, an emergency meeting was called. I was not invited, but I stayed in my office, pretending to work. The next day, he didn't show up at work. By Friday, news had broken. Managing director caught abusing power, threatening female staff, the headlines read. I kept quiet. On Monday, an announcement was made. Mr. Henry had been suspended indefinitely. The board was investigating, and his office was sealed. People looked at me differently now. Some smiled. Some stared. But no one knew it was me. One afternoon, the human resources manager walked up to me. You're very brave, she said quietly. We're proud of you. I smiled but didn't say anything. Weeks slowly turned into months, and Mr. Henry's name was on everyone's lips. People whispered about him in the hallways. News outlets showed his face over and over again. Social media was flooded with clips, articles, and angry comments. The videos and audio recordings had gone viral. There was no hiding anymore. Then, the board finally spoke. They released an official statement. The evidence was real. The clips were not fake. Everything he had done was true and shameful. Just like that, he was fired. Gone. Mr. Henry tried to defend himself. He hired lawyers. He blamed everyone but himself. But no matter how hard he tried, the truth was stronger than his lies. The videos spoke louder than his excuses. His world started falling apart. His wife packed her bags and walked out without looking back. His children were pulled out of school, probably to protect them from the whispers and stares. He became the face of disgrace, and it was all over the news for the worst reasons. And what about me? I was given a promotion. Not because I begged for it, not even because I wanted it. But because I worked hard. I stayed strong. I did the right thing, even when it scared me. Now, I still wake up every morning and go to work. I sit at my desk. I do my duties. But something has changed me. I walk with confidence. I speak without fear. I hold my head high. There is no more shame. No more hiding. No more looking over my shoulder. He bullied me for a long time. He thought I was weak. But in the end, I proved him wrong. I didn't just survive, I rose. And he learned a lesson he will never forget.